Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our final match of the day here live from the Blizzard Arena in Los Angeles. I'm Semler, with me is Hex, and we're going to be casting the action.
Los Angeles Gladiators, Hangzhou Spark. The winner locks in top 6.
That's the thing.
You don't want to be in 7 through 12. It's very volatile down there. There's a lot of teams that could upset a team, so you want to get in that 6. Make sure you're set in there. Winner of this one locks in their top 6 spot. And those are, they're still up for grabs amongst a couple teams, could still get in that top 6. Of course, they've secured playoff spots, but you really want to stay out of 7 through 12. Do you really want to play the Charge in the first round, or the Dragons, or the Hunters, or the Rain? Answer, no. No, you don't. You want to get it right into that top 6.
You want to just go ahead and skate and give more time to prep, but now we're going to not waste any time at all. We took a look at that graphic. Awesome beans. We just saw it before, but it turns out that they're going after each other. They're the two teams with everything on the line here. Let's bring our first team out onto the stage. Los Angeles Gladiators.
Gladiator, gladiator, gladiator. With the gods, I'm the giant slayer.
Home field advantage, as always, here at the Blizzard Arena in lovely Los Angeles. Nice to see Shaz without the hat. Beautiful head of hair. Why would you hide it under a hat right there? It looks like a fresh cut on display. But those are your damage dealers walking out first. It is going to be Decay and Shorefort. A lot on the line for those guys because we are pretty much in a damage meta. Everyone else needs to do their job, and they can step up pretty big in a lot of situations, but all eyes on Decay and Shorefort very likely going forward on this map.
Yeah, mine definitely will be. I think everybody else as well, because this has been the damage meta, and we're going to get to see them go up against some of the best in the business. Let's get their opponents out onto the stage, the Hangzhou Spark.
I think you better bow down. Oh yeah, I got a check, I got respect, and all I'm missing is the power.
This is a Spark team that just came off a rather dominant win against the Dallas Fuel. The Gladiators struggled a little bit with the Fuel, requiring a reverse sweep to pull that back, if that's any indication on where either of these teams are. But I think you can throw some of those results out the window. And as much as I talk about the damage dealers, you've got Godsby and Adora on this side. However, a guy I do want to keep an eye on is Baby. He puts out ridiculous numbers on the Zenyatta. It has gotten better every week. He's increased his offensive output. He leads all Zenyatas in final blows per 10, and he's only behind Jonak in damage per 10. So you talk about bloodthirsty supports. I think I know a guy who says that on occasion.
Big fans of those.
You can talk about Bebe.
Now let's go ahead and take a look. I mean, we have the supports. That's the matchup that we're going to be keeping an eye on, as well as the damage dealers. And Shorefort and Godsby, two of the best in the business as far as damage goes. And yeah, we're going to see more of the Hanzos, more of the Widows, more of the Snipers, and more of the fun.
Hanzo, Widow, May, but we're going to take a look at Hanzo's here. It is Shorefort versus Godsby. There was a ridiculous statistic that our stat guy extraordinaire brought up. The Gladiators win 92% of their team fights if Shorefort gets the first kill on a Hanzo. That is an amazing stat. So if he gets the first kill on a Hanzo, they pretty much win the fight every single time.
Is this the one time you played Hanzo?
Me.
Like, what did he says? How did you get 94%? He played Hanzo once, and he got the
I don't
kill
know.
once.
I don't have the brain to hold numbers in my head. That's why we pay other people to do it. I sometimes just talk a lot. We do have our map set presented by Toyota. This is going to be interesting. Where do we have Hanzo maps? Do we have Widow maps? A little bit of both here, actually.
Yeah, presented by Toyota. Busan is going to be our control map to kick things off, so we'll get a bit of chaos just to shake things up before we get into the more standard, regular, structured style of play.
I'm going to kick it off here on Mecha Base. This has been a Widow playground before, but right now both teams are queued up on what is essentially the most common and standard meta game here. A Reaper and a Mei on both sides. An identical mirror match for both squads, so down to execution on this one.
And we got the chance coming up in now from Los Angeles Gladiators fans. Spark side, perhaps a little bit more quiet. But already straight into the action, as the Gladiators and the Spark both running shotguns and both looking to break shields. Godsby up close, looking for some shots. Not quite gonna find it, gets forced back, and it's just ball-on-ball action right now.
Yeah, this is why we call it meta goats, because both teams running kind of the exact same thing, and this is a composition where you want to smash faces into each other. Shorefort doing the face smashing early on as he grabs Adora. He'll also grab Gushua, and that should just be about it. You can't really fight this one without your Mei, especially without your main tank, and the Gladiators will take first control. Void takes out his opposing number as he chases down Rhea. Gladiators open it up on Mecha Base. And also, the big difference I see here is that since Adora died early, Decay already sitting on a Blizzard on the other side of things.
Exactly.
It's a huge
difference
advantage.
is we've seen these kinds of combos in terms of the Blossom, in terms of the Blizzard. The Blizzard, the real game changer. Surefour, though, he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder right now. He's trying to prove to the world that he can be aggressive, that he can take control, that he can dominate on that damage roll.
What
He's
fool
taking it
would
personally.
say otherwise?
He's taking it personally, though. You know? So it's like, here, man. Time to prove yourself, Surefour. Let's get into the mix. You're gonna get frozen.
Gosby got the goose early, but now both Gosby and Goucheway fall again. And now you have to question if the Spark really want to come back in and fight this 4v4. It appears not. It appears it's a full-on retreat. And the Gladiators end up still keeping control, only using the Blizzard in that last fight.
And Shaz will have that coalescence, lickety-split, no doubt there. Looking at Adora right now to try and get that Blizzard going. He's going to be the main difference maker here, seeing as how Decay has used his. Should be freeze drained. Exactly, Adora, as soon as he gets it, no time wasted. Great, straight in, Surefour with the Blossom. Throwing things a little out of whack. Both of the bongos have been punctured. They're out of the fight. Now we're getting into the walls as well. Void with the self-destruct in the open. Adora, though, doesn't even matter. He's going to go boom. Big kills coming in on the other side, though. Bebe and Rhea find 2, so the Gladiators under pressure.
Well, the Spark have to commit to this fight, but they've lost Gosby early yet again. That's a big source of damage. It is 4v4 on the point in this brawl. Tanks and supports out here for the Spark. I don't know if they have the throughput to actually kill anything.
Yeah, it's nice, though. Yeah, exactly. They're all kind of just staring at each other. Where have we seen this before, Hex? Seems very familiar. Decay with Blizzards thrown on in. Doing a decent job of forcing the Spark back. They nearly flipped it, Hex. They were so close, but in the end, it's the Gladiators holding on to it. Now, the Spark have to get on the payload to touch. They do just that, barely.
Blossom and a Prayer doesn't end up finding anything, and still the Spark have to commit to this Coalescence out. You'll likely see Supercharger drop immediately. They do just that. But so far, the Spark haven't been able to find kills. Void grabs another. That's his 3rd final blow.
Yeah, this is getting a bit out of hand now. But the Gladiators are so scrappy, they refuse to give in. The sound barrier thrown in by the Goose, but IDK is going to come in, but not before Adora goes down. Goucheway follows on the side of the Spark. That's Godspeed dead, and that's the Los Angeles Gladiators. They got to get it now. Should be a 1 fight, and they will pick up the first point on Busan.
Some early deaths from both Godsby and Adora cost them several of those fights. You need them alive. You need them working in concert. You can freeze people as May, but the firing rate on her secondary fire is low, so you'd rather have your Reaper up there chunking through people. Unable to get it done because of some early deaths from the damage dealers on the Spark. And Void actually led his team in final blows. He was hunting people down. Not a guy we talk about a whole lot on the Gladiators. No. I mean, it's that diva role sometimes where you just kind of go unnoticed because that means you're doing your job for the most part. You're not making mistakes, but he was able to hunt down some of the damage dealers for the Spark. Now the Gladiators look to come out, rip roaring, and take the first map here.
Yeah, it's the Spark right now. We're trying to find ways to get kills. So we will see now, how's it going to manage out? It's Surefour on the Widow, and it's Godsby on the Widow. Yesterday, we saw Godsby do quite a bit of good work on the Sniper. He was confident, he was taking duels, and he was pretty much dominating.
That's short for our 2018 Overwatch League All-Star Game Widow 1v1 champion, though. I think that surprised a few people, given all the talent we have on Widow, but Short4 was the one to come out on top.
Oh, there we go. Nice trade. Tip for tat on the supports. You lose Bebe, though, but Shaz being gone really hurts the Los Angeles Gladiators offense, means they don't get that many heals. And so Hangzhou, there's a good chance now for them to push in, try to capitalize on that, especially with Surefour out of the picture. Now Godspeed, he gets to run amok here. There's nothing really the Gladiators can hope to do unless they can just try and get some kills, but it's not happening. Roar dead, Decay gone, and that's the Gladiators sent back to spawn.
Well, that's Godspeed with 3 final blows in a row right there, and the pink arrow means headshot. That's exactly what you want to see from your Widow, means all the burst damage comes out. And I mean, there's gotta be a kind of fear factor when you play the Spark now, because Godspeed's performances on Widow have been transcendent lately. They're gonna hold first point here. Godsby with the Infrasight can pop it whenever he likes if he wants to get a beat on Short4.
Yeah, he's been looking fantastic. But this is what I'm looking forward to in Stage 4 with the 2-2-2 change. You have to get the damage in there, and you have to have some Widows. It seems like those are the best performing comps when you have confident Widow players. Name of the game when you're going into these sniper duels, confidence. You gotta know you're gonna hit that headshot. So Godsby right now, he's had nothing so far to tell him otherwise. Surefour keeping it a little quiet on that side. And Rhea, in the meantime, will find Decay. So Surefour's got to step up and start doing some damage. If he's not going to just shut down Godspeed, he's got to start finding kills. And this is what Godspeed is all about right now. He's like, well, I don't need to duel you, Surefour. If you're not going to come for me, I'm just going to kill the rest of your team.
Yeah, Godspeed was not even looking at Surefour for a while, and yeah, that'll show up on a highlight reel, but it's not really going to matter. Surefour's got to run for his life. Hooked back into oblivion. Rhea takes him down 60% and counting up for the Spark. And look at this. They've had to use no ultimates at all. They have everything aside from Infrasight.
Yeah, that's bonkers. And then it's Godspeed who's running back, but he can take fights from anywhere in the back line, so it's not even as if it's crucial that he gets onto the point to, whoa, halt on halt action there.
Very close to a max range hook. Surefour is the one who pops Infrasight now, so Godspeed's got to play a little more passively. He's going to rotate around and try to just do some damage on the tanks, but at a certain point, LA's got to go fight.
Yeah, they got to get in there.
They're backing off because of the supercharger, which is fine. But this is the final offensive chance for the Gladiators.
So good about just using their ults to buy time. Infrasight was one, and then you get the supercharger, and now you're going to have the whole hog thrown in by Rhea. Actually, many of the ults getting used here on the side of the Spark, so now it is that win or die sort of situation, and the Gladiators are going to do a whole lot of dying.
Yeah, get busy living or get busy dying. The Gladiators choose the latter. And a completely one-sided second round of Busan, thanks largely in part to Godspeed there. 8 final blows, now his total tally.
Well, that's important for the Spark here. They need to, this is kind of home turf. You got quite a bit of purple there in the fans. You got to quiet them down. Can't let those guys give energy to the Los Angeles Gladiators. Can't let them cheer at all. No, you got to turn this place into a library. That's what the Spark are doing.
I do see about 3 or 4 Spark fans out there, so they're not completely one-sided here.
There's one.
Yeah, got a couple in the front row. There you go.
Not him. He's wearing a Gladiators jersey. I see you
jersey.
with the Gladiators jersey, buddy.
Get out of here.
That doesn't count.
Come on. Pick a side.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
There we go.
There we go. Back with the purple. All right. Well, it is tied up 1-1.
All right, he's got both jerseys.
Okay, he's got both jerseys. He's got a Goose Ray jersey.
Super fan. Both teams running the similar compositions again. The DPS, heavy sustain, heavy damage, smashing faces against each other.
Yeah, just shotguns. I mean, this is so much like Goats. It's bonkers. Let's run into each other and do some damage.
Well, I mean, it's really hard to break a play style after so long in the 3-3 meta. They're like, oh, you have to do damage. Okay, what are the most tankiest self-sustained damage that we have? Let's throw them in there.
With the most utility, i.e. Maywalls, i.e. that happens and somebody dies. You get cut off from the rest of the team, no way to help you. IDK, the first to fall here for the Hangzhou Spark, who don't really seem to be as comfortable when it comes to the Reaper May sort of style. It's almost, I mean, on this point, I almost want to see Godspeed just go for the Widow.
It's where they struggled a little bit yesterday, too, but they're going to come back into this. They do lose their main tank, still trying to scrap it out on the point, but they will give up first control. Question is, do they want to commit to this? Now you can't.
Now they're done.
Both tanks out of it. Time to reset.
Does Godspeed change, though? Do we just get a switch?
I think he stays on it for this one life. You do a Blizzard, you do a Death Blossom, and that you hope you get something out of it. And then maybe in desperation you can switch off. You'd much rather be on the Widow when you have control of the map and you can just kind of poke down the dead center alley or look left, and you don't really want to have to try to take control with a Widow.
Stop making so much sense, Hex. I'm speaking from the heart here. I just want to see some Widow. I want to see Godspeed on the Widow.
As do I, but right now they're going to use ultimates at least before they use this. It's going to be all about execution here. A whole lot of check marks in purple on the left-hand side of your screen, although High Ground immediately ceded to the Spark.
Oh, that was so clever. The wall goes down, blocks him out, forces the Gladiators up into the air. There's the sound barrier. Surefour knocked out of position on the other side of the wall, not doing as much damage as he would have liked, but Gushue still getting caught, Nadora as well. Yeah, and the Gladiators will hold, despite what looked like a little bit of a rocky start there.
Yeah, Bebe was a day late and $1 short on that Coalescence. Gushue fell right before that Coalescence, able to kick in and keep him alive. They will save a few ultimates on the side of the Spark. Meanwhile, the Gladiators invested their entire ultimate bank into that fight. Almost single digits on the side of their ultimates. So on paper, this is a fight that you would expect the Spark to be able to flip back, even open with barrier. You have a lot of options to open here. Got to be careful with Surefour. He's lurking above.
Yeah, decent positioning here from Surefour. And eventually, he's looking for a pick. If he can get into a squishy, or if he can remove one of these tanks, that'd be baller.
They open a barrier. They open a barrier, just push right in.
Godspeed doesn't even need the Blossom when he's supercharged like that. When he's doing so much damage up close, no way for them to survive, and he's even going to hold on to the ult. The Hangzhou Spark just walk their way onto the point.
Blossom's one of those things that I almost think of as Barrage sometimes.
Or tank mode for basket.
Yeah, where you'd rather just stay in your normal mode, and that way you can pick targets quicker. You still have the utility to be able to use your other abilities.
Yeah.
But Blossom just locks you into this animation where you're slow and you can be negated and you can be shot very easily. So I think it's smart to not use it there. It's not the greatest ultimate unless you have really good setup.
Ooh, high ground. And he's gonna he potentially has to set up here. Could just drop right down on him.
Oh, they should be able to see this.
Yeah, they checked it.
Yeah.
Boyd can't pull the wool over Bolden's eyes, man. He's too
Short forward very
sharp.
low though. Taking a lot of damage.
Long range TP all the way in, gathered up. An attempt there with the Hulk. That could have been tasty here for the Blossom. Instead, just Coalescence on Coalescence, crossing the beams, they don't care. And we're at 40% on the board now for the Spark.
Gladiators are nearing the Blizzard. They're nearing a lot of ultimates here. It's been a long, sustained, drawn-out fight. They've been able to equalize in the ultimate economy. Barrier starts it off for the Gladiators.
Sound barrier over the top. Blizzard here on the low ground. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. There was a self-destruct thrown into it. Doesn't get any value, but now it's Godspeed coming into his own. And Boyd, he eats it. Eats the Blizzard, but Godspeed still gets the kill.
Now they're gonna get Gushue. This one's not over yet, but it does force the Spark to commit the sound barrier into this one.
You got 2 running back for the Gladiators right now. There are 4 alive on the point. You gotta get some kills because it's pretty soon you're gonna have Roar back in here. He's got the bongos ready to go. If he drops that, that's gonna be a problem here for the Spark. And yep, now there's the damage boost, and instantly bodies start dropping for the Spark. The Gladiators, they held their own, Hex.
A very patient push, waiting for things to come back online, sustaining until they had the numbers advantage from the reinforcements, and the Gladiators will take our 3rd round of Busan, and thus our first map of Busan.
Scrappy fight here between both of these teams. What looked like a dominant performance for Hangzhou in the 2nd map. Results in the Gladiators taking the 1st map of the series.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.